This presentation will go through the options available to you for configuring a DB600 to suit your application. So the default configuration of the DB600, it includes everything you need for most common applications with a few small exceptions. The DB600 has a standard instrument tube for deployments that are deeper than 2 meters. So we actually do have a shorter option, but the default is it is suitable for depths that are 2 meters or greater. The AI1 is the telemetry system and power supply system that sits on top of the DB600. That includes a global 4G cellular communications with 3G fallback, and it has a bunch of built-in diagnostic and status sensors, such as it has a GPS for location tracking. It has a barometer that allows you to correct absolute pressure sensors for the changes in atmospheric pressure, as well as weather diagnostic information. It includes a humidity sensor so that you can make sure that the internal electronics do not get exposed to condensation. It has along with humidity sensor, it has an inbuilt desiccant that does keep the electronics dry. It has a current sensor that allows you to measure charging of the battery, performance of the solar system, as well as current consumption of the modem and sensors in various operations. And all of those sensors allow extensive diagnostic information to be recorded. So it's really good to be able to get a whole bunch of status information for a buoy, because often these go in remote locations, and if something goes wrong, these status sensors often tell you what the problem was, so that you can be prepared when making a field visit. Now, built into the AR1 is an RS485 adapter. So that allows the AR1 to talk the native language of a YSI EXO sonde. So that means that you can plug in any sonde. It means you can plug in an EXO 1, 2, or 3, and it doesn't have to be an SDR12 compatible sonde. It can even be the shorty models of sondes. So any model of YSI EXO sonde is able to be used with the AR1. And it does include a short cable to go from the bulkhead connector on the bottom of the AR1 to the sonde that sits inside the instrument tube. Because these buoys are used in waters that might be subject to navigation and other boats and vessels, we do include a navigation lantern that is suitable for 1 to 2 nautical mile operation. We do have an option for a larger lantern if you think that's important, so contact your support sales staff. And the system does come with a 1 meter chain that attaches to the bottom of this instrument tube that provides ballast weight so that the buoy is stable in fairly rough water conditions. And that ballast chain includes the shackle and a rope thimble for connecting to the mooring system. So it doesn't connect the actual rope, it's a thimble that allows you to connect a rope to it. And the system includes a SIM card and online data access. So that obviously this is designed for real-time telemetry data, so we give you a platform to be able to access that built in for 1 year subscription. And it includes some tools and accessories inside the box that allow you to make sure it is operating correctly and do the like to interface to the system how you might need to. So that includes an AC charger with some global travel adapters to allow it to work in various countries. It includes a USB cable so you can connect it to your computer and do direct diagnostics. And it includes things like spare desiccant and some basic tools like Allen keys and things like that. So the default configuration includes most things that you will need to get you operating straight away to work with an EXO sensor straight out of the box. Now, there's some things you will need to add. So the instrument tube has points for connecting padlocks so that you can secure the system so it can't be lifted out. The EXO cannot be accessed, and the AR1 is secured to the instrument tube as well. So those padlocks really keep the system secure because they depend on your system. You will need to supply padlocks that you're happy with. We The system works with the EXO out of the box. Obviously, there's a bunch of other sensors that can be used. So if you want those are for you to supply, or let us know and we can build it into the price. And you'll need to select a mooring system that is suitable for your site. Now, in terms of sensors, it's possible to add a wide variety of different sensors. So we've optimized this for the EXO because that gives you access to a whole bunch of water quality information. Similarly, it's suited to the Aanderaa DCS, Doppler current sensor, or the DCPS for current profiling. We do have a thermistor chain option that allows you to measure water temperature throughout the profile. And we do have options for meteorological monitoring, such as a wind speed sensor, or complete all-in-one weather sensors, such as the Vaisala WXT, such as the WXT536 all-in-one weather sensor. And we're not limited to the YSI EXO range. We can take a whole bunch of different water quality instruments, such as seabird sondes, really wide range of water quality sensors. So if a sonde is suitable for your water environment, by all means, let us know, and we can probably supply the code and the connections to get that operational. And also, of course, the system can be a telemetry system and power supply system for bottom-mounted sensors, such as the Nortec, AWAC, or other Doppler sensors that include things like waves and wave height and wave direction and things like that. So yeah, if any of those apply to you, contact sales for suitable mounts and cables to suit these sensors. So a lot of sensors will fit inside the instrument tube. We do have brackets that allow connection of externally mounted sensors such as a DCS or DCPS to the side of the instrument tube. And we do have things like supports for the thermistor chain to be attached and things like that. Now, all that is within the limitation that typically the system can only measure two sensors. So you might choose two EXO sondes, you might choose an EXO sonde plus a DCS, you might choose a sonde plus a thermistor chain. So in general, a DB600 is limited to two sensors. There are some situations where we can do three, but you need to talk to sales and support to confirm your configuration prior to shipping, so that we make sure we ship a system that is suitable for the measurements you need at your site. Now, when it comes to deployment, the instrument tube itself is around a metre long, but how it sits in the water and with the attachment point, the sonde measurements are typically made at around 1 metre of water depth. The tube itself has an internal diameter of about 116 millimetres, so it's quite spacious, allows some fairly large instruments inside, but it needs a depth of at least 2 metres to operate for stable operation because of the ballast chain that hangs below. Now, we do have a shorter tube version that is suitable for depths as shallow as 0.75 metres. So if you have shallow lakes and ponds or marshes or things like that, let us know and we can price the shorter tube that's available. And similarly, but in the other direction, we do have a longer tube that allows you to have two EXO sondes located at different depths inside the tube. And if you do go with bottom mounted sensors, such as a Nortec AWAC that we showed on the previous slide, we have a connection kit that allows you to connect two mooring points to the instrument tube so that you can prevent the buoy from spinning. So if you have one connection, one mooring system and a bottom mounted cable, if the buoy spins, the mooring line and the cable tend to twist together. However, if you have two mooring points, then that stops the buoy from being able to turn significantly. And so there is a bracket that we can add to the instrument tube. Then, of course, we do have kits that allow easy pouring of concrete mooring on site up to about 90 kilograms of weight. So that's a complete kit. It includes all the rope and the shackles and the swivel and eye-bolt connection point that you will set into the concrete that is included with the plastic cast that we supply the system in, so that all you need to do is add pre-mixed cement and water on site and complete the assembly, and you've got a fairly robust mooring system. Now, the selection of that really depends on your consideration of currents and waves and winds and things like that. And it's sized in 3 options for 10 meter depth, 20 meter depth, and 33 meter depth. But the 33 meter depth we really recommend for still water applications only, because in deep applications with long current, that's a lot of drag, and this is a small buoy, so it may not be suitable. And of course, you can supply your own mooring locally. Now, the communications inbuilt is a 4G cellular modem that comes with 3G fallback if 4G is not available, so it supports both bands. And there's regional models to suit various service provider requirements, such as in Verizon in the US, we've got a specific model, as well as in Australia for Telstra. And then pretty much everything else globally suits the -E model, which is for Europe, Middle East, and Asia. Now, if you're outside cellular communication operation, we do have an Iridium short burst data or SBD modem add-on that can be added onto an AR1, and that uses a network, the Iridium constellation of satellites that are constantly orbiting the globe to provide continuous real-time coverage and very short latency for data uploads within about 30 seconds or so from sending from site to reception at your data portal. So that provides truly global operation. If you're outside cellular communications, select the Iridium short burst data transceiver option. And then, so once the data is packaged and sent, how you receive it and how you display it's up to you. We do, and there are various global preferences. Obviously, the default is that we package it with Xylem Hydrosphere, which is good for simple basic data viewing and display. Of other regions and for more advanced applications, we tend to use Eagle.io that does support a wide variety of features such as data editing, email reports, some statistical processing and even code-based processing of the measurements. The location can be geofenced so that you will receive an alarm if it goes outside that location, and any parameter can be alarmed, which can be distributed via email and or SMS, and has really advanced features such as public dashboards if you need to share non-sensitive data. Now, along with either of those options, Loggerlink is a freely available download for both Android and iPhone models, and that allows you to remotely connect to the station and see real-time data and interact with the station, such as triggering a new reading and things like that. So it's a free application, works on all cellular-based AR1 models, and along with that, the system can operate on any Campbell Scientific network, such as obviously Loginet networks is a common thing, or we can provide data via FTP, or we can connect to an industrial SCADA network. Now, those use cases, we can provide example code for you to do the integration yourself. So that those parts does assume some knowledge of CR Basic, or obviously we can provide those services if you want to package it into the hardware supply. So the base model includes most everything you need for operation out of the box with an EXO sonde, and it provides plenty of scope to expand with additional instruments, global communication, different software access, things like that. So I think you'll find the DB600 and AR1 is a very versatile, powerful application. And if you want to talk to sales or support, by all means, talk to your sales agent to figure out the options that you want to add on to make your system a little bit customized. All right, thank you very much.